G'day folks, I'm Wren, they, them, and it is time for January's TBRGate. So, I'm not at home, obviously. I don't have my board with me, obviously. I am currently in Perth at my brother's house. Kirsty and I are house sitting for a little bit, and I didn't have time to film this before we left, so here we are. So everything's going to be a little disjointed because, oops, but for TBRGate moving forward in 2025, the only kind of change that I'm making to TBRGate is the double ups. I have noticed in the past couple of rounds that the same number will get rolled several times during a month, so I've decided to add a little thing in there for the double ups. I'm just going to add a self-care prompt. Shout out to whoever put this in my comments. I can't remember who it was. Was it Jonah? I keep feeling like it was Jonah, but it could have been someone else. The self-care prompts, I was originally going to write down a whole bunch and pull them out of a jar, but I think I'm just going to just decide them as they happen and decide based on what's going on in my life, because I might need certain things at certain times. You know? So that's going to be it for any kind of changes. I can't tell you really what I did for December's TBRGate because I don't even have my journal with me to tell myself what I read. But I know I read like 2 or 3 of the books and I started another 1 or 2. Yeah, I didn't complete all of them. One of my main goals in 2025 is to complete a TBRGate. I want to get a ZPM so badly. I haven't had one. I don't think I had one at all in 2024. Okay, I need to work on that. For any kind of readathons happening in January, I am partaking in the final book support group, which I always do. I'm not going to make like an official TBR for it because every time I do, I don't read those books. So I'm just going to go with whatever's going to happen during that week is gonna be what's happening. There is also another readathon that's happening from January to March, and that is the tracklist readathon. I saw this over on Instagram, and the main reason it caught my attention was because the first round is focusing on ATs. I love ATs. ATs is a K-pop group. They are great. I'm not doing any like official TBR. I'm just gonna read books and hope they fit, which I think a lot of them will, so that's all fine. Let's get into the rolls. Alright, this is how we left the board off last time, but some things have changed. So, this hive ship I can remove because I completed it. I also got 1 Science Saves the Day token. I was meant to read Hell House, I didn't. I'm swapping this in for Set the Record Straight, using that so I don't have to have a hive ship on that. Then I have 2 hive ships left, and I have 2 spots left that I need to fill. So, that's kind of good. So first up we have Sandovi is here, and the next one is Once L. So there we go. I clearly don't like this half of the board. So let's go with the first roll. 12. So we landed on El Nami with the episode being midway. Every time I get this I say I need to rewatch that. But the prompt for that is Rivals. Alright, number 2. Oop, that was loud. 14. So then we landed on Amityville with the episode being Conversion and the prompt for that being Paranormal. Very, very nice. Right, roll number 3. 14 again, which means some kind of self-care prompt. And then we landed on Bido with the episode being Sunday and the prompt for that being Emotional. Right, roll number 4. 18. Getting all the teens this time. And that is a chevron, which means a character card. I don't have the character cards with me. In its place, I will put a ZPM. We'll figure this one out later. Next, 7. So we landed on Denami with the episode being The Intruder and the prompt for that being 5-star prediction. Very, very nice. Alright, for glyph number 5. 4. That's another character card. So, another ZPM in its place. Next up. 19. So once again, I landed on Tannin, which I always seem to land on. It's getting kind of annoying. I've lost my little card for that, but I know the episode is the Shrine, with the prompt being a reread. So for that one, I'm gonna put that in place. Oh, gosh. Alright, next one. 9. Are you serious? Another character card. So I can't have any more character cards because this is the last ZPM I have. Oh my gosh, okay. Please give me a glyph. 1. Well, it did that. So we landed on Irami, with the episode being Doppelganger, and the prompt being a book, author, or series you've been sleeping on. Alright, what will be our last roll, hopefully? An 18. I think that means I have another self-care prompt, because I got 18 before. 18, and I landed on a hive ship. So I landed on Once L, with the episode being Daedalus Variations, and the prompt for that being a spinner wheel, ×2. Alright, I found the cards, so we're just going to quickly pick some. So, first one, Dr. Peter Kavanagh. Ay. Okay. And number 2, Dr. Rodney McKay. Hell yes. And number 3, Colonel Samantha Carter. What an interesting trio. Everything is so chaotic, I'm so sorry. First of all, we're just going to talk about the self-care prompt. So I got 2 of them in that round. So my first self-care prompt is going to be probably not what a lot of people would expect when you think of self-care, and that's get a tattoo. I love tattoos. Oh, they make me feel so good. I wish I had more than I currently do. But yeah, that's a thing that I really want to do. I wanted to get a tattoo in 2024, but it just didn't work out. So I'm gonna get one in January, which is already like pre-planned. A bunch of booktube friends, we're all going to a romantic affair, which is a book signing convention happening in January in Adelaide, which is awesome. And there is a tattoo artist that's gonna be there, and we're all like, hey, let's do that. So we're gonna do that. And then the second self-care prompt is going to be a self-healing session. So I trained as a energetic healer. I felt so balanced within myself and my capabilities and what I could do for other people. But in 2024, I really just let that go by the wayside, which is unfortunate, but I really want to bring that back into more like a consistent routine in 2025. So I'm definitely going to do an energetic healing on myself in January. So the first glyph that we landed on was El Nami, with the episode for that being Midway, and the prompt for that being Rivals. This was such a hard prompt to fill for me, and I think I need to figure out a different prompt for it because it's just difficult. The book I chose for this was Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This is by an Asian Australian author who Kirsty and I met for the Oz Asia Festival. It was amazing. Vanessa Len is such a sweetheart. Oh my gosh. This is about people who are monsters or half monsters or something. Joan Changhunt has no idea she's part monster until she's thrust into a battle between the boy she has a crush on and one of the most ruthless monster families of London. Don't forget the rule, no one can know what you are. You must never tell anyone about monsters. There is 12 monster families with hidden powers. That could be cool. So her summer crush is Nick, who also has a secret. So when the monsters of London are attacked, Joan is forced on the run with the ruthless Aaron Oliver, heir to a monster family who are sworn enemies of Joan's family. So that's where the rivalry comes in, because there's something going on with the families, and it's like the barest little thing, and I'm gonna take it. because this was a hard prompt. She'll have to embrace her own monstrousness if she is to save herself and her family, because in this story, she is not the hero. It sounds super good, and this is one of Kirsty's favourite books, so I am very much looking forward to reading this. And Vanessa Len was just such a sweetheart that, like, yeah, I want to read her book. Then for prompt number 2, we have Amy Will, with the episode for that being Conversions, and the prompt for that being Paranormal. So for this one, I'm going to go with Ghost Mortem by Jane Hinchy. This is a book that I need to read for Ara. Like, this also sounds very kind of cute, but also something like I would enjoy, because like there's ghosts, of course I'm going to enjoy it. So this person doesn't believe in ghosts until the ghost of her best friend shows up in her apartment. Ooh, the ghost also doesn't remember anything, and I think she has to help them get their memories back and figure out who murdered them. It sounds very like a cozy mystery, just added in some ghosts. It could be fun, and I think that's what I need in life right now, is just fun. I know I'm not giving too much description about this, but it's just a girl who figures out she can see ghosts, helps her best friend, mystery unfolds. Then for glyph number 3, we landed on Biado, with the episode for that being Sunday, and the prompt for that being Emotional. This episode gets me every time. Ooh. The book that I'm going to choose for this one is Our Dreams at Dusk Volume 3. I have been absolutely loving this manga series, and it definitely fits the prompt. It's very emotional. I think I cried in Volume 1. I had a whole boatload of emotions happening in Volume 2. So I don't know what's going to happen in Volume 3, but there will definitely be emotions. This is about a boy who is gay, but he's very closeted in the first volume. So much so that he really pushes back, so much that he spews a lot of hate. He meets this random person and tells him to go to this community centre where he might find like-minded individuals, which he does. I don't know what's going to happen in Volume 3. I'm expecting many deep emotions, probably some tears, but it'll be a great time. And then I landed on a chevron, and that means a character card. So the first character card that I got was Peter, is his name Peter? Dr. Peter Kavanaugh. But the prompt I decided to pick for this one was Out of Comfort Zone. And for this, I'm going to read Silver Foxed by Kayla Gross. I put this as Out of Comfort Zone because it's straight. It's like, it's a straight romance, and it's an age gap, and it's like dad's best friend. I don't know, it's not something I would usually go for, so that's out of comfort zone enough for me. This woman is going to a cabin, it's like her parents' lake house or something, and it's meant to be a relaxing weekend, but the dad's best friend shows up and a spark is happening between them, and I think they are just like, let's have this weekend to do this and then maybe leave it there, but then maybe they won't. But it sounds like it could be interesting. I love that there is a plus-size main character happening here as well. That's awesome. But I'm gonna give it a go. So the next glyph I landed on was Denami, with the episode for that being The Intruder, and the prompt for that being a 5-star prediction. So for this, I had to choose The Spider and Her Demons by Sydney Chu. I have been so excited for this book for so long. I saw this at QBD a long time ago, and I was like, ooh, I really want to read that, but I didn't know enough about it to buy it right then. So I took a photo of it, and I was like, I'll get to that one day. And then when Kirsty and I were at the Oz Asia Festival, Sydney Chu was there. I didn't realize that they were like non-binary and asexual, and I was like, ooh, I'm intrigued. The book itself just sounded really cool, and then listening to Sydney talk, I was like, oh my god, you're awesome. And then going up to meet them afterwards and like get the book signed and everything, I was like, oh my god, you're amazing. I was having a great time meeting Sydney Chu. I was so nervous because they're just so cool. But they're a lovely human being, and I cannot wait to read this because it sounds very cool. This is an urban fantasy spin on growing up as a second-generation immigrant, struggling under the overwhelming pressure to make others proud while feeling trapped inside your own body. But our main character is a half spider demon. Ooh, but when she accidentally kills and eats a man in front of the most popular girl in school, she discovers she might not be the scariest thing in the shadows. Excuse me, that sounds amazing. So good, I cannot wait to read this. And then I landed on another chevron, so that is another character card. So for this I got Dr. Rodney McKay, my fave. So for this I chose favourite author. My favourite author that I'm going to kind of explore to see if they really are like a favourite. They have a book that is one of my favourites of all time, but that's all I've read. So I want to explore more of their work to see if they will solidify themselves as a favourite author. And that author is Adib Khorram. So for this I'm going to read Kiss and Tell by Adib Khorram. So this is about a guy in a boy band who seems to, you know, like their band is really popular right now. This guy is the only openly gay member of the band. I don't know if the rest are queer, but he's just openly gay in the band. And he just went through a really public breakup, and there's a lot of expectation put on him to still be like picture perfect queer role model, despite the fact that he's kind of going through it right now. And things get a little messy when he starts a relationship with another guy. The press don't exactly like that because it's not the right image. This sounds like it'd be really freaking good, and I know that I put this off for so long because of the fame and music aspect of it, which I don't like, but I love Adib Khorram. This should be absolutely freaking amazing, and I'm so looking forward to it. And then for the fifth glyph we landed on was Tannin, with the episode for that being The Shrine, and the prompt for that being Reread. I get this prompt so much. How? What kind of probability stuff is happening here that I keep getting this prompt over and over and over again? But I did manage to find a reread that I do want to do this year so that I can continue a series. And that is The Fox and Little Tanuki by Mitagawa. I read this first volume, I don't know, 2023? No, 2022 is when I read it. And I really enjoyed it. This is about this fox demon that is kind of being punished for their crimes. This little tanuki is like really fascinated by them. Yes, that's right. So after 300 years of imprisonment, he's not allowed to have any of his abilities back until he helps this little tanuki cub. Yep, to help this cub become an assistant to the gods. And so Senzu, once great fox spirit, must figure out how to be an actually great babysitter to an innocent little tanuki or risk being stuck without his powers forever. It was such a fun time. I gave this like 4.5 stars. So much fun, super cute, really interesting like mythology stuff happening as well. So I'm really looking forward to rereading this and then continuing the series. And then I landed on another chevron. That is another character card. So great. The character I got for this was Colonel Samantha Carter, and the prompt that I chose for this was Gifted. I'm interpreting Gifted as this was an arc I got sent. So for this, I'm going to read Enemies to Booksellers by Laura Catherine. This is another author that's going to ARA, and a lot of us got the arc for this. I'm still making my way through it. I know I put this on like November's TBR maybe, or December's. Something like that. I put it on a previous TBR. I did start it. I'm still going through it. I'm still reading it. So I'm going to just continue to read it until I finish it. It's about these two henchwomen, a sidekick to the villain and a sidekick to the hero. They form a relationship, and then they decide to run away together and just live out their cozy little life together, selling books and being in love with each other. The assistant to the hero is also like some kind of like nature spirit, which is super cute. She has a little like frog friend that is named Nigel, which is super cute, and he's like a little sassy bean, which is very cool. This is really just, yeah, a cozy fantasy about these two women being in love. So I really need to read that. For the sixth glyph, we landed on Arami, with the episode for that being Doppelganger, and the prompt for that being a book or series or author that you've been sleeping on. I went back and forth with this, and I eventually decided that I'm going to read Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bastorica. This is a translated horror novel. It's about cannibalism. I've been wanting to read this for so long. I love stuff about cannibals. It's so fascinating. I love it. It's a good time. It's weird. It's creepy. It's really disturbing, and that's what I love about cannibals. So yeah, I've been wanting to read this for such a long time, and I, for some reason, keep putting it off. So I was like, okay, it's time to put this on a TBR. And like, I mean, I really don't need to know anything else about this except that it's about cannibals. I mean, there's not really much to say about the synopsis either. It's just the world is kind of coming to an end, animal meat is not really available anymore, so human meat. But this sounds like it's going to be amazing and I'm so looking forward to this. And then the last glyph that I landed on was Once L, with the episode for that being the Deadless Variation and the prompt being a spinner wheel. But this had a hive ship on it, so I gotta do this twice. We're going to do the spinner wheel, which has been updated for my 2025 kind of goals. We got this. Let's go. Seasonal TBR. Oh, I was so trying to avoid that. So seasonal TBR means my literal seasonal TBR. I put out my summer TBR at the beginning of December. Okay, so for this one I'm going to read Mammoth Drop by R.J. Corgan. This seems weird. There's murder, mammoths and mimosas. So there's a scientific expedition in the Mammoth Drop caverns. Someone is murdered, and there is a gay campground filled with boozing drag queens and bottomless mimosas, and then someone in that group is going to help solve the murder. I really don't know what's going to happen with this, but it seems like a fun time, so that's what I'm going to read for that one. Spin number 2. Oz Asia. Ooh, cool. I'm already reading one. I'm already reading 2 actually. But there was a middle grade that I bought. A Ghost in My Suitcase by Gabrielle Wang. Yeah, this is a middle grade. Oh my god, this author was adorable. She because she's an illustrator as well, so she was like drawing stuff when she was like signing it. I was like, oh my god, this is so freaking cute. Oh, and she was talking to me about like, because I said that, you know, yeah, I wanted to write a book, but I kind of lost my passion for it. And so she was like talking to me about like finding a passion again. And I was like, you are the sweetest human being. Oh, everyone was so lovely there. This young girl goes to China to visit her grandmother, and she finds out that her family are like a long line of ghost hunters. So again, very much my vibe and exactly what I want to read all the time. But this sounds like it'll be super cute, and I got the first and second book in this series, so I'm very excited for this. And just the author was so sweet. But that's gonna be all the books that I'm gonna read in January, hopefully. Who knows with me, in all honesty. But oh, I would really love to complete this TBR. Like, desperately I want to complete this TBR because I want to start the year off with a bang, you know, start off on a really good note, and hopefully that'll mean the rest of the year will also be good. Please let me know down below what you are planning to read in January. I really hope that your January is going to go very, very well, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.